What's going on, guys? Zuco back with another Shadowlands video. I hope you're all doing very well. Grab your coffee, let's kick back and relax. Today, we are talking about the biggest dungeon that we have done so far, a 21 top. So, this thing was crazy. I actually ran it with the new guild that I'm in now. It was a full guildy run, and it was incredible. It was a really good run, and we're gonna get to a bunch of the really important moments in a minute. So let me just say that this is the kind of stuff that we're gonna continue to push for moving forward into next week. I should have a plus 20 key to start out next week, so that's gonna be really good as well. And it's just kind of wild to see that like the damage numbers go way up when you have lots of enemies that are lasting for a lot longer. It's just kind of the nature of things. Like, at this point in the expansion, with the mobs having such high health, that you're able to essentially just get off a lot of extra damage. And it really just feels good to be doing this kind of stuff. So, you're going to see in the dungeon here that it is a Theater of Pain, and we're on Tyrannical Week. So, it's kind of a really rough combination. The bosses on Tyrannical Week for Theater of Pain are particularly frustrating to deal with because they just last forever, and a lot of the mechanics of the bosses in top force you to like run away from the boss, to have no uptime on the boss. You know, there's Xav. He sends you down into the arena where you have to fight somebody else and you're not hitting him. Mordretha, the final boss, obviously she like pushes you away from you have to like run away from that green portal that she spawns. Gorechop, like, you have to dodge the chains all the time, and Kul'tharok obviously sends you to the little green hands, the little circles with green hands, and you have to, like, run out of combat, and or out of, you know, melee range, certainly. So there's a lot of frustrating things with these bosses because they force you to be away from them for so long. And on Tyrannical, it's even more frustrating because they take so long to kill. They just take absolutely forever to kill, and on a plus 21, it's just like, man, it's crazy. So let's get into my build. What build did we actually run for this? And then I'll get into the VOD. So we did run Primal Lava Actuators plus Necro, which is, I would say, the most standard way that you're going to run dungeons these days for Enhancement Shaman. We had a Pure Fire setup with Lashing Flames, Hot Hands, Fire Nova, and I took Nature's Guardian this time instead of Pharaoh Lunge, which I'm definitely just going to start taking more often. And then we had Ellie Spirit's Sundering, of course. But yeah, we had the Necrolord bonus, which gives you a bunch of haste, right? When you cleave that Primordial Wave Lightning Bolt, it gives you a ton of haste, which is really the crux of this whole build. And you're basically just waiting for Hot Hand procs with Lashing Flames to try and get the Flame Shock damage rolling. So you can see, of course, the same damage breakdown as we always have in these dungeons. Lava Lash and Flame Shock being way, way up there. And my Lava Lash crit 48% of the time because of the conduits that we were running. We ran Plague Divisor Marileth. We had Focus Lightning, Tumbling Waves, and Magma Fist, of course. This is the build that we kind of ran. So, the most standard build that you could probably run for Enhancement Shaman in a dungeon, and it did very well. We almost did 13k overall, which was pretty good. I actually had a dungeon before that, I think, where we did, was it this one? Yeah, look at the Sanguine Depths. We did 15.4k overall in this Sanguine Depths with the same build. So, we're climbing. We're getting better at the damage part for sure. And it's just great. It's really good to feel like we're progressing, like we're getting better, and it is happening. So let's get into the video. Without further ado, let's jump into the video, and let's check out exactly how this dungeon went. Let me move my notes over here. I'll show you the opening pack here. Let me just say a really quick note here about this opening pack. You can choose to either skip this opening pack and then pull the guy that's riding like the mount. You can pull him into the boss fight and skip these guys, or you can just do these guys and then pull the guy into the boss fight. It's up to you. You really have a choice there. So we decide to actually do this pull right here because it's not a fortified week. I think if it was fortified week, you should skip these three guys, most likely, because they're just really annoying trash. So we end up pushing through them, and then we pull this guy into the boss fight, okay, which is really interesting. I just want to make a quick note for some of you guys that were asking about to see like my GCDs. They're down here, okay? So I know that this details action tracker is partially blocked by my current camera, and that's unfortunately that's just the way it's going to be. But you can see every ability that I'm using in succession right here, okay? You can see that. So we're going to pull this guy into the boss fight and Lust, and our damage is really, really good here, guys. It's really awesome to see. So here comes Lust. Start spreading my flame shocks around. We get a hot hand proc already. There is going to be some background noise because I was on Discord with the guild trying to do this run, and people were just chatting. So just be prepared for some background noise there. We're doing like 32k AoE, like 32k DPS right now, which is really good. The other guys are doing more, but that's okay. We knew that was going to happen. It'll even out as the fight goes on. But this fight is basically just you're trying to kick as much as you possibly can. And I tried to purge some of the shields, but I don't think you can purge the shields.
The stun's coming up, right?
So maybe you guys let me know in the comments below if there's anything that's actually purgeable from shamans here, because I kept trying to like purge certain things and I couldn't. But the bottom line is to try and kick Searing Death. That's a really big one to kick. And then just burn through these shields as best you can. I tried purging that shield and you can't, so I did purge the bigger guy, Decia, because I think you can purge that one.
Trying to get the shield down. I can't purge it. So.
And then he'll stop fixating somebody. So I did end up purging that one, but the other one you can't. So that's fine. But this boss fight was fantastic. We're still doing 27k.
Like, he tunnels somebody.
There's nothing too crazy to say here other than you just having Primal Lava Actuators and Fire Nova is like actually perfect for this fight. It's so ridiculously good. So this was a great fight for us. It was a great opener to the whole dungeon. Things were going very smoothly. So it's good. The boss just takes forever to kill. Tyrannical is like, it's actually insane how long it takes to kill these things. But we finally do end up getting them down. We're doing about 21.5k DPS right now. By the end of the entire encounter, we're down to like 20k. Like, what a great opening fight. We had so much damage from the whole group. Even Thor ended up doing 10k DPS. Like, that's crazy.
Dump truck.
That was still only 2 minutes and 42 seconds.
Yeah, it felt longer, eh? But we're doing good damage, so we kind of crushed it.
Watch this.
Except for the tank. I don't know what he was doing, but anyway.
Yeah, this under 10k plus. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, well, yeah, pleb is the right word.
Thor did so much damage there. 10k for a tank. That's fantastic. So then you have to make a choice here, right? Where are you going to go? There's a route that Thor had in mind.
Shoulder, man.
He's doing Xav first because we don't have Lust. So you need to go to the next boss that you don't care about using Lust on. And Xav is a good candidate for that because Xav has that downtime where you're going down into the arena fighting another player. And so you don't have a lot of uptime on the boss. And so if you had Lust going, it just wouldn't be as beneficial. Now, this section of the dungeon, though, is very frustrating. This is the mini-boss section of the dungeon. So, like, on a Tyrannical week, I think ideally what we probably should have done here is pulled this trash into this mini-boss and just fought them all at the same time. Because it's not fortified, so they're not going to be as buffed, and you have to save time. This is probably one of the only sections of the dungeon where you can really save a lot of time. You can by pulling more mobs. So I think that's maybe something we could have done. That's going to be relevant later in the dungeon. You'll see. So anyway, we do push through these mini bosses, and
thank you.
Move over here. The captain pack. Let me go there. We absolutely destroy the captain pack, which is really cool.
Yes.
So this captain pack up here is like very, very deadly, even on non-fortified weeks. So I get Earth Elemental out just to soak up some damage, as I said.
To do with you.
But the Hunter misdirected Thor, which is really good. But these guys in the back, these Arbalists, just shoot whoever the hell they want to shoot.
I'm going to stun here.
It doesn't matter what you do, really, but we just tried to put as many distractions in front of them as we could. And, but our damage is crazy, right? The damage is really good. We got a Warlock and the Marksman Hunter are just pumping damage. These guys are awesome. They were doing so well. We're doing 25k, which is great, but still not as good as them, but that's obviously not why we're here, so.
you guys are doing.
Then again, another mini boss. You can't really pull this any faster,
Well,
and this
Thor
is very.
clenching like every other whirlwind, but besides that,
It's just annoying. It's an annoying part of the dungeon to have to deal with, essentially, because you just can't make it go any faster. So, unfortunately, right here we have my first death, and I want you guys to track this, right? I don't get out soon enough. I'm right on the edge of this whirlwind, and I die. I just get up right away, but that's our first death of the dungeon, and we're going to keep track of that because it's going to matter later on. So, we do end up killing this guy, but it takes forever. They're like full-blown bosses all on their own. Then we get a DC from the hunter. Her computer just like randomly took a dump, and basically she DC'd. So that was really unfortunate. That was like 30, 40 seconds of time that we lost, and that's going to matter later as well. But we'll see. Here's the Xav boss fight. Once again,
so are we lusting here or no? Like once it comes up.
Yeah, we needed to hold lust, which is good. We decided. This boss fight is just like so frustrating.
I feel like it's a no, right?
You want to do as much damage as you can, but you're going to get sent down. You have to, like, first of all, you have to do damage to the banner, and then you're going to get sent down into the arena where you have to do damage to each other. So, a couple of frustrating mechanics on here. But
plus the... That's a nightmare, eh? Like,
on Tyrannical, when Xav just jumps to the middle of the room, it does so much damage, and then he does his little triple combo here, right?
I'm just going to die.
So I'm going down with the Warlock. Yep. I'm telling the Warlock to kill me because he clearly is going to do more damage than me.
Warlock every time, baby.
You guys need to understand that if you come down here, whoever wins this duel gets a buff, and whoever loses the duel gets a debuff. You're going to see it in a second here. Watch my debuff bar. It takes him a while to kill me. So now I have this 20-second... See that little arrow, that little red arrow that's going down? That means I have a slight debuff. But the Warlock gets a buff. So it means he's going to do a lot more damage.
Get to the banner.
Which is really good. Look how much damage Xav just did to us right there. Just jumping to the middle of the room. So this boss fight, you can see if you had Lust here, it would be a huge waste. It's just such a
mean.
The amount of uptime you actually get on the boss is like very low.
Yeah,
it's very frustrating.
His like jumping to the middle of the room thing does like most of our health.
Yeah. So anyway, that's how you want to do this fight. You're going to keep getting sent down. You need to decide who has cooldowns ready to go. If they have cooldowns ready to go, then they should be the one to win the duel, and then they go back up, and then they can use their cooldowns with their buff that they just got on the boss. That's really how you should play this fight,
Pretty
right?
Stupid.
So that's kind of how we do it. But
then you get the buff, and then you go.
Never use spirits down here. It's such a waste.
No. I mean, because you get a buff when you're done here.
I'm trying to explain it to.
Oh yeah, but you don't get your cooldowns back.
No, but I'm saying if you have it up and ready to go, then you get the buff.
So I end up winning the duel this time, and you can see there's a different icon here. I have an 18-second buff going on now.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I was just explaining it to our hunter there, which is fine.
Because he did his stomp right when
So that's the end of the fight there. We get to the end, but again, he just takes so long to kill. I think we get another chains.
Target you. Attack total.
That's fine. Just
This time I just let her kill me. I just wanted to get over quickly. And then we finally get him down. Now, I do end up dying here. I can't get out of this circle. So I end up dying right there. That's death number 2.
get out of that.
So that's unfortunate. And, you know, it sort of is what it is. But it's just unfortunate the way it goes. So then we get to... Let's go to 1820.
That's probably going to be the roughest fight, I think. The rest of them kick left here.
So this section of the dungeon, this whole wing of the dungeon is like the most healing intensive and the most kick intensive wing of the entire dungeon. You need to kick and stun and interrupt every single thing on this wing. And the healing required on this platform alone is absolutely disgusting. Watch Xlynks, how much healing he does here.
Proud of you guys. You're doing so good.
5, 6, 7, 8K, 9K, 10K, 11, 12, 13. It just requires that much out of your healer. 14K HPS. It just requires that much out of the healer. Again, I have a D curse as well. So does the druid. So it's really, really good.
Whatever you want to do.
There's a couple curses that go there, but Soulstorm just slaps. I pop my wall here so I don't die. It's just absolutely insane how much damage. So this section of the dungeon is just, it's really tough. You got to be careful. We move on to the next section where we have the guys that throw out the death winds. I want to show you another moment from our druid here, from Xlynks. This is a really like epic moment from him. So
Yeah,
watch this.
It's never at me, which is great.
There's a Death Winds that
I don't
goes out
mind the
here in a
range getting
second.
knocked off the
It's
platform.
this one right here. Watch this Death Winds. It's going right. He's right here. Okay, it's going right towards him. Look at it. It's in the air. He's right here. He's healing. It hits him right now. He goes up. He loses most of his health. He goes way up in the air here. He's gonna go way up in the air, and watch what he does. He's in the air, and then he blinks. See his soul shape on the edge of the platform? He soul shapes to the absolute edge of the platform, and saves himself. I was like, oh, it was really cool. That was just like just a sick moment from him. He's gonna talk about it here.
Okay,
Oh, I just got eaten. I got saved myself with my fucking soul shape.
I saw that. That was sick, man. That was really good.
That was just like, he was just really quick on the trigger there, or else he was going to go flying, and that would have been really, really bad. So this final platform, of course, is incredibly difficult, and you have to manage your cooldowns correctly, or else you'll just die.
Did you have Toll right now? Okay.
So I'm asking Thor if he has
We
Divine
need to space
Toll.
this out properly, or we're gonna die.
And I'm saying, you know,
Watch out.
we got to make sure that we don't overlap our CCs here. So there's Divine
Okay,
Toll.
there's Toll.
I have Cap Totem here.
Okay,
Luckily, we just do
That's
enough
good, good
damage,
job.
and it's not fortified. If this was
I'll kick the little guy
fortified,
here.
it would matter a lot more, but it doesn't matter as much. So I was kind of holding my kick, getting ready with my Cap Totem,
And that's not me being like discriminating.
making sure that I had all the tools available to be able to get that down. But that's just really important on that platform. If you don't do that correctly, then you'll just literally die. Somebody will just immediately die. So let's go to the next boss fight. Kul'tharok is 2120. So, again, we do have Lust rolling here, so we're going to have lots of damage, but this fight is, like, so frustrating, because especially for melee. And one thing you have to do, you'll get Draw Soul put on you, right? If you get Draw Soul, you have to go to the circle with the hands on it, right this. Then you get Horrified for a second, and then you can go back in. The frustrating part about that is, of course, that you lose uptime on the boss as a melee player. So a couple of tips for you guys that's really important here is to make sure that you use as many melee abilities as you can. Stand next to the boss. I have Draw Soul once again. Stand next to the boss until the very final moments when you have to run out. Don't just run out right away and lose like 5 seconds of uptime. So I'm using Lava Lash here. I'm using
Can I
Storm
just
Strike. I'm using Lava Lash again.
Not get targeted.
Then
4
I run
times.
over here and I hit Frost Shock and I hit Lightning Bolt right before I get Horrified. So I've used every possible GCD in that window
Probably the
before
Warlock,
I
yeah.
had to run out and do the mechanic.
They can do magic, right? Singe
That's why we're doing 18.5k DPS. Otherwise, I'd be doing like, you know, 13k.
Magic or whatever?
It really makes a big difference. So
That's pretty.
that's my only real tip here is that if you get targeted over and over and over again, make sure you're looking for where's the closest, you know, set of hands here that I can use. Where is that? And then make sure that you get there at the last possible moment so that you can use as many GCDs before you have to do the mechanics. So just important there. Nothing else really
Cool.
crazy to say for this boss fight.
That makes a lot of sense, because when I was healing this earlier... Oh, God, I just fucked myself. There's a Warlock that was cocky.
So then this is the beginning of the Gorechop Wing. This is the final wing for us, and this wing like is just really rough in terms of how many kicks you need for the Withering Discharge. You have to be really paying attention. It gets really chaotic in this wing. There's just dudes jumping all over the place. So there's a moment here in a second where I want to show you sort of how I pull off really, really fast
Yeah, are there any more
interrupts.
discharges right now, or no? Are we good?
There's a Withering Discharge coming in like 2 seconds here. I want to show it to you. So let's watch it.
Watch her, watch her, watch her.
So does his slam.
Did a 21 and it was
Then
easy. I don't know, like,
this guy jumps out here. Here we go. This is the moment right here. So this guy up here, this little guy casting the Filth spell right now, he's going to jump over to the left, and then we're going to have to kick him. So he jumps to the left.
so easy.
I see him. He starts channeling Withering Discharge right now. See it right there? That's him channeling it. I'm facing, like, straight right now. What you can do in this game, and if you guys don't know this, you can essentially swivel your camera. So I hold my right mouse button down, and I swivel my camera over to here, and I press tab on my keyboard, which the game is very good at detecting where you're trying to send your next tab target. And I swivel to the left, and I tab target, and I kick him with Withering Discharge.
21.
And it happens very quickly. I swivel, I target him with tab, and I kick him. See how fast that was? That's
So
how quick
easy.
that
You
is.
guys can do which one.
Here it is. It's happening again. I'm right here. I'm going to swivel, tab, kick. It's like really, really quick. Swivel, tab, kick. See that? See how fast that was? So that's what you can kind of do, especially as an enhancement shaman or any shaman in general. Because you have that ranged kick, you're able to pull off moves like that. In like literally that happened in 1 second. I swivel, tab, kick in like a 1 second span of time, and I got the Withering Discharge. So that's really important because that spell in particular is incredibly deadly. But there's other abilities, like in Necrotic Wake, the guy's casting Drain Fluids. You can do the same thing. You know, all those kinds of really important abilities that you want to kick. So just important to look out for that stuff. So the Gorechop stuff we get through the whole wing. Sorry, it's not stuff, it's a wing. Let's go to 30, go to 29, 40. So right here, we realize that we might be running out of time. And we need to be maybe going faster.
I don't want to. I'm just saying.
The
Yeah, that's what
Warlock.
he's asking. Do we have enough time? I'm wondering.
We only have 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes left.
We
So
don't have enough time.
Thor basically is like, listen, guys, I don't want to go any quicker than this because there's this. These guys do a lot of this. Butcher does a ton of tank damage, and he's correct about that. But he makes the smart call of being like, okay, maybe we are actually not going to have enough time. So we need to push faster, which was a great call by Thor. It was good for him just to recognize that. So he's like,
yeah, he does a lot of damage.
he's like, listen, I want to get this guy,
and then pull it in.
I want to get this guy as low as possible before we pull it onto the boss. So there we go. Thor's happy with where it's at. He goes in now. Just a really good heads up call for him to, like, you know, he had a plan of what he wanted to do, but he just readjusted. That was just that's really awesome to see from Thor. So that was great. And then we start the boss fight, Gorechop. Again, this fight also takes a lot of extra time.
All right, this is like the final moments here.
Because of these stupid chains, right? The chains are here, and that lowers your uptime on the boss. You can't make a
We gotta
single
play
mistake.
real clean.
We're in the final moments here. We can't make a single mistake here.
Down awful, but I am rooting for you guys.
One thing that's important on this fight is that you can always get extra value from Primordial Wave, because you can Primordial Wave the boss and then spread the Flame Shock to the 2 adds that he always has up, and then you can get 30% haste instead of 10% haste when you cast that Lightning Bolt, right? So,
How'd that feel?
so we're waiting for to get rid of here. Remember, there's just like the
Yeah,
downtime.
this is sweaty.
Yeah.
Well, it's 'cause we're so
I run over here. Just I should have ran the other way, but I ran this way. I'm silenced for 2 seconds. Not a big deal. I run back in. Not a problem at all.
Yeah.
So we'll push forward here. There's a couple of moments coming up that, again, it gets really hectic. Near the end of this fight, it gets really dicey.
never grew up with taking a fan, just kind of transitioned to wipe your feet off.
Oh, I almost didn't get out of that. Here's an example of that. I have 3 Flame Shocks out now with my Primordial Wave, and I can get a triple Lightning Bolt cast.
Oh man, I'm glad I got that fucking on hand.
There it is. Now I have 30% haste instead of 10. So that's the value of having these adds up.
This guy's got a fucking massive.
This is a great
Yep.
boss fight for that.
Yeah.
Here's some chains.
You got
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Here we go. We get to the final moments here. I don't know if this is where he gets hit there. So he gets chained there. The Warlock gets chained, unfortunately. He's losing a lot of health, but Lynx is doing a great job keeping us up.
If we miss it by 30 seconds, I'm blaming.
Here comes an epic little moment here from Thor.
Miss it by 30 seconds, I'm blaming Kerrigan.
He says, if we miss it by 30 seconds,
No.
I'm blaming Kerrigan, which is the hunter, because she DC'd earlier. So that's an important, keep that in the back of your heads, guys. Thor says, if we miss this by 30 seconds, I'm blaming the hunter.
Miss it by 30 seconds, I'm blaming Kerrigan.
Right after he says that, the Warlock gets slammed, which sucks. So that's another death. Now we have 3 deaths. I get hit by chains
Oh, fuck.
because I wasn't paying attention. I fleshcraft to keep myself alive. Lynx gets me back up.
It's okay. I got it. We got it.
Then it just gets really ugly. Now I run the wrong direction. This is all my fault. I need to be doing this better. So I lose some uptime on the boss there, like a good 5 or 6 seconds, which is horrible.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so the Warlock died. I got hit by chains and lost uptime, and then I stood in the wrong spot and lost uptime.
I didn't even see it. I'm an idiot.
Then I got hit by chains a second time. And then the Warlock bleeds to death here and dies.
Where's Warlock keep dying?
Right there.
He took the chains off.
So we do get Gorechop down, but we lost, like, right there in that moment, we lost 10 seconds of death time, and we lost probably 10 or 15 seconds of me personally just having uptime on the boss. Again, all these things are really important.
What do you think? I think it's...
We get the
yeah.
final Necrolord buff.
I think it's a longer fight. I agree. Want to lust right away?
And then Thor's like, Thor doesn't want to lust right away, and I understand why, but then he just changes his mind because he's like, listen, I think we need to just try to burn this as quick as possible. So he calls for lust. We do it.
Because if somebody dies, I want maximum uptime.
Yeah, I feel like we've got cooldowns now. We should just go.
Stay away from lines.
Watch the beam.
Then I get hit by the beam here. I'm trying to dodge but I dodge the wrong direction into the beam like an
Oh,
idiot.
the slam plus the beam.
And then I get hit by the wall.
Oh my god, I got wrecked right
It's
there.
okay. We end up surviving. The rift comes out. Now, we only have 3 minutes left, which isn't really enough time for the final boss. It's just not enough time. So you're going to see that. Really, on Tyrannical Weeks, you want 4 minutes for every boss, basically. And
Jesus
usually you can
Christ,
get
those
them done
ads
quicker.
just
But.
disappeared.
Blind soul, baby.
So we're doing lots of damage.
From lines.
I messed up the opener, though, and I'm not doing any damage at all, which is unfortunate. But by the end of the fight, I do catch up. But, man, I had a really bad opener. There's just so many mistakes that I made, even personally, and you can see that by the end of the dungeon, you can see the mistakes that you could have cleaned up to make it better, right? So then we get this next gate here. We have to run away.
Stay away from lines.
Devastation comes out again. Here comes the ads once again. Then he's doing phase 2. We phase the boss, Mordretha. We start getting the, I don't even know what those are called. The boars running through.
Yeah, we got to really focus here.
I don't have divine soul for this.
This is a nasty moment right here. I need to use my defensive. We need to do as much damage as we can. He gets Divine Toll back up.
Divine soul's coming.
Stay away from lines.
Which is good. It silences all those guys. It's really important.
Yeah,
And
we
we're
got
good.
lucky with the
Everything's
Rams
looking good.
twice in a row.
Everything's looking okay.
Last minute.
1 minute left, guys. 1 minute left for this 21 top. Then this portal spawns right on top of us. And none of us really realize it until like the last second.
Oh shit. Watch out, watch out.
Thor realizes now. We have to run out.
Done.
Lynx, unfortunately, gets hit here.
Someone get me up.
And then he's like, okay, just res me. It's not a big deal. The Warlock reses him.
Lines.
Now he's up. We're good to go. Everything's okay. We have 33 seconds left.
As
But
much
we
damage
lost
as you can do.
another 5 seconds because of that death, right?
Run.
We have 8% of the boss's health left. 18 seconds for 8%.
Watch it, watch it, watch it.
15 seconds.
Stay away from lines.
Push him.
Lynx gets run over.
Push him.
Come on!
Push him. Push him.
Oh, are you kidding me?
Did we?
Was it 1 second?
Second.
2 seconds over.
It was 2 seconds overtime. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Kerrigan, you're damn DC.
Okay. So let's talk about this because this is something that's like just really interesting to me. First of all, was it the Hunter's DC that cost us that dungeon? I mean, 30, 40 seconds is a long time. That's definitely part of it. But were there other factors that caused us to not get that? Yes, absolutely. On Gorechop alone, I got hit by the chains twice. The Warlock died on Gorechop. I missed uptime, like probably 15 seconds of uptime on Gorechop. Like, that's it. That's a huge amount of stuff. We could have probably pulled things a little bit differently. Maybe Thor could have pulled some of the ads into the mini bosses in the Xav Wing, right? Maybe he could have pulled those things a little bit better. Lynx died on the final boss twice. So, you know, if he hadn't died a couple times there, again, that would have helped as well. We just had, like, on the, me personally, on the Xav fight, again, I died as well. And I died, actually, I died twice on the Xav fight. I died leading up to the Xav fight, the one mini boss, right before the Xav boss fight. She does a whirlwind. I died in that whirlwind. I also died in Xav's, like, frontal cleave thing. So, my point is to say that, like, everybody here played so incredibly well. Everybody played so incredibly well, and we just missed it by 2 seconds. And we had, you know, in my opinion, we had so many little mistakes that helped to contribute to why we didn't time it. And it's really not on anybody. I think they all played fantastic. Everybody did a great job. But it's just, this is the stuff that we get to work on now, right? You get to look at this and say, okay, what did we do wrong? How do I work on that? And how do I fix it for next time? This is exactly how you push into 21s, 22s, 23s. This is how you do it, is you have to elevate your game that one step further, where it's like everything's kind of normal and fine, and then you get to like 18s or 19s on the keys, and you have to start changing your strategy a little bit. Maybe you start pulling trash into bosses. You start doing all these extra things that you're not used to doing. Once you get comfortable with that, you need to elevate one step even further, and you have to start cleaning up all the little things that you do wrong. And for me personally, it's like dying, getting hit by chains, uptime on the boss. The Gorechop boss fight in particular, I had so much like missing uptime that I should have been on the boss. So this is so cool. I loved just seeing the mistakes that we made, and now how can we fix it and get better? That's what I'm taking away from this. Not that I'm not mad at anybody for you know, screwing up or whatever. I think everybody in this dungeon felt a little cheated because we were like, oh, we were so close, but we know what we did wrong, and we'll fix it for next time, and we'll get a 21 top done, you know, in the coming weeks. But that's it, guys. That's the video I wanted to show you, and I wanted to just highlight that it's important to understand what you do wrong and go back and look at what you did wrong and then just fix it for the next time, and you'll make it better, and it'll be fine. And you don't need to be like upset at anybody for not, you know, doing a good job on the boss fight. So really loved this. Our damage overall was fine. It could have been a bit better for sure. Again, that's stuff like uptime on Gorechop, right? Like little things like that I have to fix and get better. But loved doing this dungeon. Loved running it with the guild. It was so much fun. We are going to continue to do high keys like this in the coming weeks. Next week, for sure, I'm going to at least have a plus 20 to start with. But I'm going to keep pushing even this week. I'm going to bring you guys some more plus 21s. And yeah, it's going to be awesome. I love it. So thank you guys so much for watching. Let me just do one more shout out to the Patreon link. That'll be down below. Excuse me. I'm going to do this in every video. I'm going to push. We have 8 people signed up on Patreon now. I haven't started the Patreon yet, but I've put a poll out there in the video description. If you want to support me on Patreon, what I'm doing on this channel, that's going to be coming soon. I'm going to have an announcement video that talks about the different tiers and what you guys can expect to get. There are going to be extra rewards for the bigger tiers, and I'm very excited to share all that stuff with you. So if you want to go to the Patreon poll and just let me know if you'd be willing to support me in some financial way, I would really appreciate it. Once again, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for dropping likes and for the comments down below. Let's keep those conversations going. And if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that red button. And until the next time, I'll see you later.